So after setting up a nib file, we need to initialize main view controller and photo view controller for the main and photo views. And we initialize view controllers in the app delegate. Now, earlier I showed you how the utility application template provides the code we need for loading the parts of the main window.xib file here. And that creates my world app delegate and the window for sending my world app delegate the application did finish launching with options message. And so we have an application did finish launching with options method in my world app delegate, and it initializes the main view. This message, application did finish launching with options, is sent at the very beginning before the user can even see anything on the screen. And as Apple conveniently points out right here, it's the greatest place for an override point for customizing your app right after launch. And here's where we will insert our code to initialize main view controller and photo view controller. We'll start with the header file because here we have to put in our declarations. We have to create declaration of class photo view controller, semicolon. And because we're going to be using the UI scroll view, we need to declare that we're going to use the properties of the UI scroll view delegate. So besides the application delegate, which is here, we're going to put in a comma and include UI scroll view delegate. Okay, so we've done that. Everything else looks good. We have these properties, but we need to add two more properties. Two more properties that the interface builder can find via the IB outlet. We have one already for the main view controller. We have one for the window. Now we're going to add a property. It's non-atomic. We're going to retain it with IB outlet tag so that the interface builder can find it. Our UI scroll view called scroll view. Where's our scroll view property? We're going to put in another property, declaration. Again, non-atomic, and we're going to retain it. Tag it with an IB outlet so the interface builder can find it. An instance of photo view controller called, innocently enough, photo view controller with a lowercase p for photo view controller. So what we've added to the app delegate is the UI scroll view delegate protocol, as well as declaring photo view controller and the UI scroll view. We add an IB outlet so that interface builder can discover the scroll view, and then we went on to add property declarations for main view controller, photo view controller, and scroll view. So not only does my world app delegate have to follow the protocols of the UI application delegate, it also has to follow the protocols of the UI scroll view delegate. Now we move on to my world app delegate.m, the implementation file. Now we have our importing of my world app delegate and main view controller and constants.h. We also need to import, we might as well put it down here, our photo view controller.header. So we are importing the new photo view controller.header.h file to control the second view, which we'll create later. We can then add the synthesize statements to synthesize the photo view controller and the scroll view. We do that here with @synthesize photo view controller. Xcode knows what we're already about to type, and synthesize our scroll view. So now we've created our accessor methods for the photo view controller and the scroll view. Or Xcode creates them for us, really, because we've defined them in the header file and then we synthesize them here in the implementation file. And the compiler knows how to synthesize the accessor methods because of the way we told it to in our property declaration, which were here. So now we have our accessor methods. We're ready to do what we need to do to define our scroll view. At this override point for customization after application launch, we're going to put in our scroll view code that you saw earlier as part of the application did finish launching with options method. Now remember, the UI scroll view class adds scrolling without us having to do any work. And so the methods declared by UI scroll view delegate allow us here in our delegate, the adopting delegate, to respond to messages from the UI scroll view class. So first we want to set the page enabled property. Scroll view paging enabled. We want to make that yes. Next, we want to set the content size property, which is the size of the content view. So scroll view content size. And we're going to do this with a CG size make, our scroll view.frame dot size dot width to k number of pages, which is 2, and our scroll view dot frame dot size dot height, the height of the frame. There's our content size. Now our scroll view does not want, we want to shows horizontal scroll indicator to be no. We do not want a horizontal scroll indicator. We also, scroll view, don't want a vertical scroll indicator. But it also should be no. We don't want it to scroll to the top, so we set that also to no. We want a very simple scrolling view from one view to the other. And we want to set the scroll view delegate. So what we did was set the content size property by using the scrolling frame size and k number of pages. Now every scroll view has a scroll indicator, so we have to turn off the shows horizontal scroll indicator and the shows vertical scroll indicators. So we shut them off with no. Now our next job is to actually initialize our controllers. We're going to use the convention of using A controller for one and B controller for the other. So right here, we initialize the first one, main view controller, as A controller. Main view controller, allocate, init with nib name, our main view nib file, bundle nil. There, we have initialized main view controller as A controller. But we're not done yet. Photo view controller will be our B controller. And that, we use photo view controller and allocate that and initialize with a name photo view. And its bundle is nil. Now our self main view controller is A controller. And our self photo view controller is B controller. And of course, because we do memory management whenever we create objects, we want to also remember to release them. So A controller release, B controller release. Further down in the application did finish launching with options method here, where we add the main view controller's view to the window and display. Here's where we want to add the CG-rect structures to draw the scroll view frames for the two views. And then we can add each view as a subview of the scroll. Our CG-rect for frame 1, scroll view frame, okay, frame 1 origin, well, frame 1 size, width, frame 1 origin y equals 0. And this is our main view controller view frame. Now we move on to frame 2. Again, we use CG-rect, frame 2, which is a scroll view frame. And our frame 2 origin point for X is frame 2 size width. And our frame 2 origin Y is 0. And our photo view controller view frame is frame 2. So now after we've drawn the CG-rect structures, we can implement the two views for horizontal scrolling by adding the scroll view frames for the two views. First, we have to comment out the self window statements here. Comment this one out, comment this one out. We've just turned them off, and we're going to replace them with scroll view. We're going to add the subview. First, we're going to add our main view controller view, semicolon. Then we're going to add to our scroll view a subview for photo view controller view. We're going to make the window, make it the key and visible. So we've added each view as a subview of the scroll view.